Beloved, hear my voice as it whispers through the noise of your thoughts, for this moment you are standing before is not an ordinary turning point, it is a threshold between what has been and what will be, a door that carries with it both great promise and hidden peril. And I speak to you now because what you decide to do with this door will shape the next season of your life in ways you cannot yet fully comprehend, and I do not say this to create fear, but to awaken in you a sacred awareness. A holy caution that allows discernment to rise above impulse, for many doors in life are painted with the colors of opportunity but framed with the wood of deception, and many paths seem smooth at first yet are paved with stones that cut the soul over time. But this particular door, this chance, this relationship, this proposal, this step that is drawing you, carries within it both the potential for breakthrough and the potential for deep entanglement, and it is not the door itself that determines the outcome, it is how you enter, with what heart, with what clarity, with what boundaries, and under whose guidance, for I have seen the hands knocking on your life lately, the voices trying to persuade, the opportunities that seem to glitter with promise yet whisper with something deeper, and I want you to pause, breathe, and lean in to hear me, for danger and destiny often stand side by side, disguised in the same hallway, waiting to see whether you will rush or discern, whether you will consult your spirit or only your emotions, and I have placed before you not a trap but a test of vision, because not everything that looks like a gift is wrapped by my hands, and not everything that stirs excitement is aligned with your assignment, and yet within this same door lies the seed of your next elevation if you enter with the right posture, for the enemy seeks to rush you, to make you grab, to push you into haste so that the door becomes a snare, but I am calling you to walk slowly, to ask me first, to search the intentions behind the invitation, to feel the weight behind the words, and to look not at the frame but through the doorway into the atmosphere it carries, for every door opens to a room, and every room carries a spirit, and you must ask yourself, is this the room I have been praying for or the room designed to delay me? There are people behind this door who may smile while holding their own agenda. There are opportunities here that promise light yet ask for pieces of your soul in return. And there is also a divine appointment waiting for those who enter with wisdom, prayer, and a willingness to surrender every ambition that is not rooted in me, for you have been through enough to know that not every beginning leads to blessing. And you have scars to remind you of the times you walked through doors without first consulting my spirit, and though I turned even those seasons for your good, this time I want you to walk not with fear but with insight, with eyes wide open, with a spirit sharpened by the lessons you have learned. Because this is not a season for repeating cycles, it is a season for breaking them, and the door you are facing now has been allowed to stand before you so that you might prove to yourself and to heaven that you have grown. That you have ears that hear beyond flattery, eyes that see beyond surface, and a heart that seeks my will above all else. And as you stand here, with your hand almost on the handle, I whisper to you, do not just ask, what will this give me? Ask, what will this cost me? What will it change in me? What spirit does it carry? Who does it serve? Because destiny never comes without a process, and danger never arrives without a mask, and I am revealing this to you not to make you turn away, but to make you step forward differently, with the light of discernment as your lamp and the shield of prayer as your guard, so that whichever way this door leads, it will become a path of destiny, not a pit of delay, and you will know that I spoke because I love you, because I see what you cannot see, and because I am determined that the next chapter of your life will not be written in haste or regret, but in wisdom, alignment, and the kind of courage that comes from trusting me more than you trust your own reasoning or the applause of others. And now, as you linger at the edge of that threshold, I need you to understand something deeper, for this is not merely about a physical decision or an earthly opportunity. It is about the alignment of your spirit with the divine timeline I have set for your life. And that is why I am impressing this moment upon your heart so strongly, because there are doors that are opened by men and there are doors that are opened by me. And the difference between the two is not always seen by the eyes, it is often felt in the spirit, and if you are not careful, you may confuse a door that flatters your desires with one that fulfills your destiny, and that is how so many find themselves bound by choices they thought were blessings, only to discover they were cleverly disguised distractions meant to detour them from the very thing they prayed for, and I do not want that to be your portion. For you have already endured seasons where you learn the hard way that what glitters is not always gold, and that not every open path is a green light from heaven, and now you are wiser, though at times still weary, and you are more discerning, though still tempted by the voices that promise faster routes, easier ways, smoother roads. But the growth I have cultivated in you requires that you now step not by impulse but by intimacy with me, because the door you are about to open is not small. It connects to something that ripples far beyond your present moment, into relationships, into resources, into the shaping of your character and even the positioning of your purpose. And that is why I am drawing near to whisper, pause and pray before you proceed, listen before you leap, because this door carries both a key and a test, and the key is obedience while the test is discernment, for not everyone cheering you on wants you to succeed in my way, and not every silence is a sign of absence. Sometimes I quiet the room so you can finally hear my still small voice, and I have been placing subtle warnings around you, not to scare you, but to slow you down, through dreams that unsettled your spirit, through little delays that frustrated you, through words from others that seemed oddly timely, and you called them coincidences, but they were markers, signs to make you look closer, because there is someone connected to this doorway who carries intentions that do not fully align with your well-being. There is also a hidden provision behind it that the enemy does not want you to access, and both are waiting, both are intertwined, and your posture in this moment determines which one will unfold first. So if you enter with arrogance, with haste, with unchecked trust in human promises, you will step into the snare before the blessing. But if you enter with prayer, with humility, with questions that honor the Spirit, you will unlock the blessing and disarm the snare. And I know your heart longs for progress, for change, for movement after all the waiting you have endured, but breakthrough without discernment can become a burden, and blessing without boundaries can become bondage, and that is why I am speaking so clearly now. Be willing to lose what looks good to gain what is truly God. Be willing to close a door that everyone else says is perfect if my peace does not dwell there, because the world will call you foolish for hesitating, for testing, for praying too long, but I call you faithful. For my ways are not the world's ways, and the path I prepare for you often requires patience before possession, and I have seen the sacrifices you have made, the prayers whispered in dark nights, the tears that fell when doors closed before, and this one feels like redemption, like restoration, like a second chance. But I want you to remember, not every second chance is sent by me, some are sent by the same cycle wearing a new disguise, and the enemy knows your weaknesses as well as your desires. And he will use one to bait the other, but you are not defenseless. For I have placed within you a discernment that grows sharper the more you lean on my word and less on your want, and I will confirm in ways that are undeniable if you give me space to do so, through peace that passes understanding, through wise counsel that aligns with truth, through doors that do not demand you to betray your values or abandon your growth. And if the door before you requires secrecy, compromise, rushing, or pretending to be less than who I made you to be, then it is not a door to destiny, it is a detour painted as a promise, and I will never require you to trade your integrity for your inheritance. So listen now, for I am not trying to take good things from you, I am trying to protect the best thing I am building for you, and when the time is right, the door that holds both danger and destiny will reveal which side it was meant to be, not by your fear but by your faith. Not by manipulation but by revelation. And you will know, because I am not the author of confusion, I am the author of clarity, and I will not allow what is meant to destroy you to dress as destiny without first giving you a whisper of warning and a window to choose wisely, and this moment right now, is that window. And now that I have drawn your attention to this door and to the weight it carries, let me take you deeper into what is unseen. For much of what you are facing is not about the surface circumstances but about the spiritual currents that have been flowing beneath your life, currents that have tried to carry you either closer to your calling or away from it, and this door represents a convergence point of those forces. A place where what you prayed for meets what is trying to prevent you from receiving it, and it is in moments like these that the unseen becomes louder than the seen, though few take the time to notice, and I want you to notice, because the enemy would prefer you to rush through this moment, to treat it as another decision, another opportunity, another next step, but you have already felt that there is something different here, that strange tension between anticipation and unease. That pull that both excites and unsettles you, and that is not without reason, for the adversary knows how close you are to a turning point, and when you are close to a turning point, his tactics shift. He becomes more subtle, more appealing, less like the roaring lion you expect and more like the gentle voice that says, "You deserve this, you've waited long enough, why not just step in?" And that is why I am whispering louder than ever. Discernment is not about fear, it is about foresight, it is about sensing what your natural eyes cannot see and aligning your steps with the wisdom I freely give. And I have not left you without signs. You have seen the repetitions, the patterns in your life that have tried to cycle back, the same types of people showing up with different names, the same temptations dressed in more polished forms, the same hurried pressure disguised as urgency. And every time you ignored that pattern before, you found yourself asking me later, "Lord, why didn't I wait? Why didn't I listen?" And now you are here again. But this time is not meant to break you. It is meant to reveal how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and whether you are ready to step into a door that carries destiny without dragging danger along with it. And here is what you must know: the danger behind this door is not always a disaster. It may be subtle, slow, seductive, a partnership that drains your purpose while smiling at your progress, a habit that looks harmless but anchors your spirit in the wrong place, an agreement that benefits you short term but bleeds you long term. And the destiny behind this door is also not always wrapped in glory and applause. It may look humble, hidden, even sacrificial at first, but it carries favor that does not fade, connections that do not corrupt, growth that does not require you to shrink. And so you are not just choosing a path. You are choosing the atmosphere your spirit will breathe in for the next season, and I will not force you, for I never force. I guide, I nudge, I warn, I confirm. And I am doing all three right now, because I have seen the prayers you prayed, the promises you have been clinging to, the words you replayed in your heart when you felt forgotten. And this door, though it feels like a sudden appearance, is actually the result of seeds planted long ago, some by me, some by others, some by your own hands, and now they are sprouting together. And you must decide which growth you will water, because what you feed now determines what will flourish later. And I want what is pure to flourish, what is aligned with heaven's rhythm to rise, and I will give you strength to close what needs closing, even if your flesh screams to keep it open, because obedience often feels like loss at first but always ends in gain. And if you trust me, I will not let you miss what is truly yours. For what I have ordained cannot be stolen by timing tricks or emotional pressure. It waits for your yes, but not your rushed yes, your surrendered yes. And this is why I have placed delays that frustrated you, closed doors that confuse you, even allowed certain people to withdraw or show their true colors, because had those doors stayed open, they would have collided with this one and cluttered your clarity. But now it is clear, you are standing at a crossroads where fear will say, "Hurry or you'll miss it." But faith will whisper, "Wait, and it will meet you." And I am calling you to the latter, to pause not because I want to deny you, but because I want to deliver you into something that lasts. And you have already outgrown the cycle of chasing what feels urgent but leaves you empty. You are stepping into the wisdom of moving with what feels eternal, even if it starts small. And that is what this door holds: both the risk of returning to old patterns and the reward of rising into new purpose. And you will know by the fruit it asks of you. Does it require compromise of your peace? Does it demand the sacrifice of your values? Does it pull you out of the presence where you hear me clearest? If yes, then that is the danger speaking. If no, then you are stepping toward destiny. And I am here, not far, not silent, watching every detail, weaving even the missteps into lessons that prepare you, but longing to see you choose with the wisdom you have gained, because you are closer than ever to what you once thought was impossible. And the door is not your enemy, it is a mirror, showing you what still has power over your decisions. And when you see that clearly, you will walk not in fear, but in authority. And no matter which way you go, I will still be your shepherd. But oh, how much more I can do when you trust me to lead instead of rushing ahead to open what is not yet ready to hold your promise. And now, beloved one, as you stand here with your hand so close to the handle of this door, with the weight of both your past and your promise pressing upon your chest like the stillness before a storm, I need you to hear me clearer than ever before. This is not just a doorway to a next step, It is a threshold that carries the imprint of your discernment, and what you decide in this moment will not simply affect the coming days. It will echo into the seasons ahead, shaping the kind of ground upon which your destiny will be built, and I am telling you this not to make you afraid, but to awaken the warrior within you, the one who has slept too long under the lullaby of delay, the one who has forgotten how much power their obedience carries, the one who once believed their surrender could change not only their own path but the paths of those they love, and yes, that warrior is still there. And that is why the enemy has been fighting so subtly, because he knows if you pause, if you pray, if you wait for my confirmation, the trap he set behind this door will lose its hold, for it feeds on your haste, it thrives on your need to feel in control, and that is what I am asking you to release. The illusion that your timing is better than mine, because every time you trusted your own urgency over my whisper, you found yourself cleaning up pain I never meant for you to taste, and now I am saying, no more. No more rushing into partnerships that promise light but pull you into shadows, no. More opening doors out of loneliness only to find the room filled with noise that drowns your peace. No more saying yes to opportunities that feed your ego but starve your soul. This time you will wait for the alignment that feels heavy with peace. The confirmation that arrives not with pressure but with presence. And when that comes, you will know that the door is safe, and here is the promise I give you now. One you can hold like an anchor as you stand here, if you choose to trust me in this threshold. If you choose to surrender instead of sprint, the destiny I have hidden behind this door will not run from you, it will wait for you, it will prepare for you, it will even refine itself while you align, because I have already set apart what is yours, and the danger that hides here is only powerful if you rush, only harmful if you ignore the knots in your spirit. And I will not let you be fooled if your eyes remain fixed on me, because I will send signs so unusual, so precise that you will not be able to explain them away, a word spoken at the right moment, a door that seems wide but suddenly closes, a delay that frustrates you yet saves you, a dream that unsettles you but carries my fingerprint, and these are not obstacles, they are shields, for I would rather frustrate your timeline than watch your soul bleed out behind the wrong door, and soon, when you are ready, you will open the one that was meant for you. And it will not be filled with chaos but with clarity, not with manipulation but with mutuality, not with shame but with steady joy, and you will look back and say, had I opened the wrong one, I would have missed this. And that is what I want for you, to taste the sweetness of what is truly yours without the bitterness of regret staining it. And yes, it will stretch you, yes, it may require you to leave some things, some people, some expectations at the doorstep, because what fits in the wrong door cannot always enter the right one, but you will not feel empty. You will feel lighter, and in that lightness, you will carry what I have been building in you quietly all along, the maturity to choose what is eternal over what is immediate, and that, my child, is the very character of destiny. It does not shout, it waits, it does not demand, it invites, and I am inviting you now, not just to step, but to surrender, to lay down the idea that you need their permission, their validation, their applause to walk into what I already stamped as yours. Before the foundation of the world, and hear me well, the people who walked away before this moment, the ones who withheld answers, who made you question your worth, who left you in waiting rooms without explanation, they were not the key to this door, they were the proof that you could survive closed ones, and if you could survive that, you can surely wait for the right one, for what I have ahead will not require you to beg for entry. It will open at the appointed time and it will feel like home, and when you step through it, you will not carry the tremble of fear but the calm of a soul that knows it chose with heaven's wisdom, and that is what I have been preparing you for, a destiny that does not drain you but delivers you, a space that does not compete with your calling but completes it, and when that moment comes, you will see why I warned you, why I paused you, why I whispered when you wanted me to shout. Because love does not always open doors quickly, sometimes love closes them firmly until the right moment arrives. And now you are standing at that moment, not to rush, but to recognize, not to fear, but to filter, not to question your worth, but to confirm it. And I, Jesus, who sees the end from the beginning, say to you, I am not withholding, I am weaving, I am not denying, I am defining, and if you trust me through this threshold, you will not only open the right door, you will become the kind of person who never fears a closed one again.